You know, in Germany, only 8% of transmission lines have been built in recent years because of opposition, including from real environmentalists who actually want to protect real wildlife, by the way. 8% of proposed transmission lines. 92% have been blocked. Here's some statistics from Der Spiegel, another German newspaper that's looking into these scams and schemes. You know, it's been about 20 years and about $3 trillion since Germany started its whole green schemes. 20 years, trillions. And Germany barely gets a third of its energy from green sources. The rest is still coal, gas, and nuclear. Trillions they spend. They still burn more fossil fuels. If you're worried about fossil fuels, I'm not, but Germany says they are. Well, why not do what France did? Build a bunch of nukes instead of wind turbines. Nukes that work all the time. And Der Spiegel points out many of those wind turbines in Germany, 20 years now, they're going to be decommissioned. Plus their 20-year subsidies, which kicked in about 2000, they're wrapping up now. Trillions of dollars. Energy is more expensive now than before. They didn't actually do what they said they'd do, get off carbon. I'm pro-carbon. I don't believe in the theory of man-made global warming, but well, let's be honest, this was not about global warming. This was about getting subsidies and gaming the system and padding the pockets of green scheme lobbyists. And it's over, at least in Germany. Shellenberger has a horse in this race. He's pro-nuke. I am too, absolutely. I'm pro any energy that actually works and makes some sense economically, as in doesn't need a fake subsidy. Here's an interesting comment from Shellenberger. He said, had California and Germany invested $680 billion into new nuclear power plants instead of renewables like solar and wind farms, the two would already be generating 100% or more of their electricity from clean, low emissions energy sources. He's right. I mean, it's just true that nuclear plants, you could buy all of them for $1 trillion. But then where do all the Earth Hour con men, all the recyclers, all the scolds, all the carbon taxes, where do they go to grift? You don't need a carbon tax if you have nuke. You don't need Greta Thunberg and the children of the corn. That's the thing, like so many problems, the left actually doesn't want to solve them because they want the perpetual fight. Democrat politicians don't actually want to clean up inner cities like Baltimore, where I was a few weeks ago, or Detroit, because they're not, well, I mean, if they solve a problem, then the politician's not important anymore. I believe a lot of these terrible politicians on the left prefer welfare over work because then they're important and needed if people are desperate. Give someone a job, they don't have to rely on a politician anymore. Same with these green scares. Nuclear energy, natural gas, whatever you're into, you could actually power the world with low carbon energy if you're worried about that. But that would then solve the crisis, take the blame off us. You need a crisis to perpetuate big government. So let me give the last word to Shellenberger. He says, the transition to renewables was doomed because modern industrial people, no matter how romantic they are, do not want to return to pre-modern life. The reason renewables can't power modern civilization is because they were never meant to. Exactly, or put another way, the day I see David Suzuki and Al Gore and Greta Thunberg and Catherine McKenna living like they actually believe we have an environmental catastrophe, until that moment I'm not going to believe we have an environmental catastrophe. It's just a con. But it looks like, at least in some parts, that con is coming to a decrepit end. That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant show. Every day I do a video monologue and then I interview an interesting guest and then I end by reading my hate mail. But you've got to subscribe to it, which you can do at therebel.media/shows.